Good morning. I'm at the Going Native Bus Bash, sponsored by the Schulkill County Conservancy and hosted by our own Porcupine Pat. And we're going to visit some gardens here in the Schulkill County. I'll read them off to you. It's Ryer Residence in Pottsville, Hope Hill Lavender Farm, Nancy Pajovitz Homestead Farm, and Ardella Newsmeyer Residence. So we're beginning on a bus going around Schulkill County, stopping at their places, having a lunch somewhere. So come along. Have a good day. So our bus has arrived. And you can see we're all gathering to get on. And hopefully Porcupine Pat will have something to say before we get going.
These beautiful sites that we're visiting, I have to tell you, these people, they've done a lot. And you'll see that you'll reap the benefits of their hard work today. We tried to mix it up to show you what you can do in a small area, and of course, another area, a business that does this sort of thing. So we try to keep it interesting and diversified. Even if you have a container like this and put plants in there, every little bit is so long. Anyway, I'm Porcupine Pat, and I'm a board member for the Schulkill County Conservancy. And thank you for giving us this opportunity and being part of this today. We hope to have other plans, for the future.
Things that I might not have planned for, but what I do have for you is a little.
Yes, a correction on Sue's last name. It is Reier.
But we had 3 children, and the backyard was baseball, sandbox, swing set, all that kind of stuff. So you'll see the map of the Bland Yard, a list of what we do to preserve it, and there's another sheet that tells you the natives we have put in. I won't make excuses for the invasives that are still here, so please enjoy. I'm going to hand this to you as you get off. And make yourself to home, just walk around. Yeah.
So we are at the home of Rob and Sue Ryer, who moved here in 1993. The Ryers are a certified wildlife habitat by the National Wildlife Federation. Pardon our weeds, we're feeding the bees. You can definitely see a shade garden here, that's for sure. The intention here is moving back to the backyard. Definitely a pollination garden. A perennial. Each perennial has its time to shine, to bloom. It's time to be a part of nature.
Well, hi, John.
Hi,
How
Sue.
are ya?
Very good.
Good
Yeah.
to have you. I'm seeing people and I'm having to pull up names and I'm getting them wrong sometimes. That's terrible.
Everybody can move over here.
This way and turn around. I'll come over here so there's only one person with the sun in their eye. Black locust, Debbie.
Is that what it is?
That replaced our maple that came down and had its branches over that property, Dr. Wahab asked us to take it down because all the stuff was in his coat. Frank asked me to talk. And so I'm not sure what you'd like to know, so I'm going to just field questions if you have them. You'll see that we started with a very bland, total curb appeal property. It was yew bushes and a whole back wall of hemlock. Our children used to play flashlight tag in the hemlock. So it's been quite an active yard. And right over there where John is filming, there's still the home base from the baseball diamond. And we used to have blockades along the fence so the balls wouldn't go into the Wahhab's yard. And so it's done quite a morph. And as you gardeners know, the gardens are always morphing. I find things that I have no idea what they are, and I say, well, let's find out what you are. And that's just what we do. What kinds of questions do you have for us? Oh, by the way, this is, where'd he go? Rob, my husband, and our dog Raven. Originally, we had a maple tree here. The slice from it is on the porch. It was big. It covered the house. It covered that yard. It covered this yard, and we had no shade, so I didn't do vegetables. So we replaced it with a black locust tree because I love the smell of the flowers. I just absolutely love them. And the oval started out as a sunflower house for our granddaughters. They actually helped plant the seeds. I put the screwdriver down in the ground, and they'd put the seed in. And all summer long, they watched the sunflowers get bigger and bigger. They could go on the inside and have their little pretend area. When the sunflowers came down, I realized I missed the oval. We worked really hard at having blossoms all through the summer and into the fall so that the birds have something to go for, and the bugs. Just remember, when you're planting natives, yes, you're going to get some bugs. Yes, your leaves are going to look like they're holy, but that means they're going to pull in the right birds that you want, and the birds will take care of them.
In the corner of her garden is a very cool spot in the summertime. And I could see myself with a glass of cool iced tea, sitting in this and listening to some garden music.
Up at the Brick House in Oricksburg. I got their brownies and I think cookies too. So who would have thought? Let's enjoy ourselves.
So our second stop for the morning is the Schulkill Lavender Farm. And we're going to go see if we can't just meet Wendy and Troy. And we'll get a tour of the farm here at Schulkill. So we'll come down here. I wish I could put the smell on here. It's a beautiful lavender. Yeah. Isn't that? It is the time. June is a wonderful month for lavender, as you can see. A more darker purple lavender, and you can see the bees love it. What a pollinator. Schulkill Lavender Farm, Lavender Bud.
We've been here on the farm about 20 years now. Schulkill Lavender Farm was formed about 12, 13 years ago. We've been very blessed with the public's reception to us. I don't know if you saw the new banner coming in. We got the #1 tourist attraction in Schulkill County this year. Yeah. Above and beyond the lavender here on the farm, We've entered many programs with NRCS, which is a division of the USDA, Natural Resources Conservation Services. So they've been kind enough to give us a few grants on the property. You see the bluebird box kind of row going along here. The field below that, and as you came up the driveway on the right-hand side, is in a conservation program with them. So that is a native pollinator field that was planted in conjunction with them, and the Xerces Society came in and helped us get it established a number of years ago. I'm assuming you're on the conservation trip, so most of you are familiar with natives, and you know it takes a couple years to get them established. You know, they got to go down before they come up. So the grasses kind of won the first time around in the center section, because we did have orchard grass planted, which was a very hard plant to kind of knock back and kill off. So the reason Wendy and I did that was basically this hillside was very difficult in farming, doing the hay and stuff. It's never fun baling hay and picking up hay on a hillside. So it was a very nice program. Plus, I imagine everybody had seen that we're involved in honeybee operation here on the farm as well. That's been a work of insanity. I don't know if anybody else has ever gotten involved in honeybees, but it is quite the interesting program to get involved in. How we got involved in honeybees was we planted lavender. We saw all these bees. My wife said, "Let's do some honeybees." Yeah, okay. I'm the allergic one. So yay, let's go do some honeybees. So we took a Penn State class over a weekend, over the winter, decided we were going to get involved in honeybees. Fortunately, there's a couple local beekeepers, Dave Moyer, who's been doing Dave's apiaries for years. Said don't go to the bee meetings, because if you talk to 10 beekeepers and have one problem, you're going to get 15 answers. And we did. So Dave Moyer kind of took me under his wing and really helped me out for many years. And now, full circle, I'm actually helping him out with a lot of things. Dave's getting a little bit up there in years, but he also does love beekeeping, so we're keeping him busy. Plus, I've gone on. There is a program that is funded by Michigan State University, if anybody would ever get involved in bees. It's called Heroes to Hives. So it is a 9-month class through Michigan State University, free to veterans, and it's a very intense class. It's about 8 to 10 hours of lectures a month that I ended up going through. But above and beyond the native pollinator fields, the bees, my wife is also a Penn State Master Gardener who's very involved in natives. So if you get a chance to walk around, like all these plants up here, most of it is native, most of it is tagged. She's very good about putting plant tags up so people can see what it is, and the simple fact that her and I are getting older and don't remember. So, there's days her and I both need name tags just to remember who each other is. So.
Wendy is a master gardener, and we can see some of her work here on this flower bed. There again, native, pollinated. Birds love it, bees love it. And of course the Schulkill Lavender Farm store for those who like to shop. I believe somewhere around in here I can get a nice one, I believe. Honey. Troy and Wendy are also honeybees.
It's my third day here. Okay, and what's your job here? Pretty much.
So here are a few of the honeys at the Schulkill Lavender Farm. And behind me now then will be their drying house. And I'll see how close I can get.
And the building?
Is that one?
Is that, this is the drawing.
It's the drawing.
There's 6 hands on it.
History. August of 2004, purchased their farm, 33 acres with 17,000 Christmas trees in our home. November 2010, they purchased 1,500 lavender plants, 4 cultivars. The beginning of lavender farming for us, double this amount and have 24 cultivars of lavender. June of 2016, our last lavender festival, decided to open our farm throughout the lavender season. November of 2016, broke ground on the building of our lavender farm store. Products made by us are local artists and made in USA, merchandise available in lavender farm stores. And what a view they have up here. Here on Hope Hill Farm, they also raise honeybees, or work with honeybees, make your own honey. And as you can see, the worker bees are doing their job.
Step right down to the tables and chairs. Find a nice spot. We're bringing lunch to you. Of course, I think you have to leave a tip. Keep them in the Penn National, right?
So our third stop is Nancy Petrovich Homestead Farm. And as you can see, this is where we're going to have our lunch. Homestead is a century farm, meaning that it has been in the Petrovich family for over 100 years. This property is enrolled as a clean and green, which is a land conservation program. As we look over their pond, or maybe a small lake, just want to mention that Nancy's son Alan and his partner Koa are degreed horticulturists. I'm not quite sure what the degreed means. Maybe if I can find one of them, we can find out what it is. But their creativity shows in the native plants that they have here at their farm. And right on the pond, and as I see a weeping willow, and I don't see too many of those around anymore. Very spacious. And we see bottles. I'll have to ask what the bottles are for. You are my sunshine. I always enjoy tunnels. And the smell. And another tunnel. An Eastern redbud, yes.
All right, everybody, listen up. That bell's ringing. We're going to have two groups. Applause here. And we have Alan and Koa. Let's give them a round of applause. Absolutely. So they definitely amazingly rolled out the red carpet for us. So the handout you have was created by them, and all of this was created by them. So gentlemen, take her away.
Is might have read is we have an original date down in the cellar of 1870, signed by the guy who did all the original questions. So the farm is at least about 154 years old. It's probably a little bit older than that when we look back through some of the county records and stuff to look at the properties. Alan's family purchased this farm back in 1932 to get them out of the coal mines and to create a space that was that would really thrive as a farming type of space and interact with the community. And so when they did that, they brought Alan's dad was 2 years old, and they started here. And the original house, which is here, is actually that left portion of the house. Small, little, it was really tiny. Over the years, the family added on to it. Primarily Alan's dad, Buddy. Buddy added a lot of stuff. Buddy also built everything that you see around. Redid barns. There's some old foundations for some of the old barns, and there is some old timber, really great old Amish mortise and tenon stuff going on inside the barns. All the other sheds and all the other fields slowly expanded. There's an original parcel, and then there's additional parcels that have been added over time. We at about 170 acres. It's really it's pretty expansive. We try to maintain it. We don't try, we do. We maintain this place as an active farm. We have tenant farmers, which we're really grateful for. The next door neighbor farmers, they come in, they take care of the fields here. We have another tenant farmer on the south and east part of the property, which is across the lake and across the stream. The 170 acres is comprised primarily of farmland, but there is a good third of it that is forested land. The biggest tract is the one that's across the pond, and there's about 28 acres over there, and then there's other meandering hot pockets. So there's some really nice areas of continuity, both for wildlife and the birds, and also allows a little bit of separation for the farms and stuff. Very natural. We have over a half a mile of stream. The acreage of this pond is 3.5 acres, and Buddy built it specifically so that he could float the boat that he built before he did the pond. So he built this really cute little boat. It's really cool. We're going to see a picture of it. We actually have a picture of the boat. So it's a really neat place. It is, as you can imagine, a farm for a long time. Goes through a lot of different changes, and for us, this has become, how do we look forward? We talk about Conservancy and what those things mean to us, and so Alan and I made the decision that we really do want to perpetuate this. When Nancy is onward from here, we decided that we're going to somehow create a trust of some kind, and we're going to probably keep it in the family as a family trust, and we have a lot of family members that are very interested in preserving a piece of property. So if you look around, it is very much a working farm, but you'll also notice, right, we've had deterioration. So we have a lot of stuff. What Alan and I 2 years ago decided to do is to actually start reclaiming some of the areas for the purpose of preserving the farm as a working farm. So we're actually slowly, the trees and a lot of things, Alan's dad had declined over time as he got older, and the upkeep of the farm, we don't live here, so this is not where we live. We're lucky if we can come up here just with my job, maybe a couple of times a week, a month. Love to come up every month if we can. But you can see things deteriorated. After Buddy passed away, the farm we just kind of stayed where it's at now. And now we're starting to push back. We're actually starting to clear things, do stuff with the old equipment, starting to fix up buildings, and to think about that facing forward future that we need to for this property. Alan and I are both very passionate gardeners and horticulturists, but we're very environmentally friendly. But there's also here as a farm, it's hard. How do you find that balance, right? We have tenant farmers, they need to make a living. So finding out balance between doing sustainable agriculture, long-term balancing with the needs of what we have a vision for as this place. I think as the farm, what we would like to also do, so we want to move up here in retirement. We're not that far away from retirement. What we'd like to do is actually slowly convert this stuff to an actual venue space. We think it would be really amazing as a space to have events and have other things. We have beautiful barns, beautiful spaces, lots of space. So that would be part of the sustainability aspect of it, being able to help perpetuate this farm into the future in addition to keeping the farm going as a working farm. You didn't see the other one, you see the orange jewelweed, which is really cool. So we make sure we always are propagating those, and we break the seed pods around in the fall. These gardens that you see here, back in the day when Alan was growing up, this used to be really just laundry lines, and it was just blank. It was the cows came on this side of the house, the cows were on the other side of the house, and then Alan started like, well, I'm going to make my own way. And so he started planting things, and stuff like this boxwood here. This was a school project when he was in college, and he brought them and just kind of planted them. So this is the original spot that we're kind of standing on right here, and this is Alan's mother and grandmother. His grandparents, his Aunt Evie. His Aunt Evie with all the roses in the garden, and this is just right here. And this is one of those areas that got bulldozed. And his grandmother and his mom. And again, this is special on a number of different reasons, just to have the photos. But that Alan's dad, Buddy, did not grow up here alone. He had a sister, Evie. Evie passed away 2 years ago, and her ashes are now here in the farm and everything. And we both had extensive collections of blue bottles. And we both had them in our gardens. We both had them on our windowsills in our houses, and we live 3,000 miles apart. Okay. You know, just go figure. Just one of our things, and so that's why we started calling it the Blue Bottle Farm. We started putting them up everywhere and stuff. So.
Our fourth and final stop is at the home of Ardella Newswinger. Ardella has been a Penn State Master Gardener since 2006. And she has been featured in the Republican Herald newspaper, showing her gardens and inviting past. She's speaking to us right now about her property, about her garden. We all had a taste of her serviceberry. See them up in here. So on either side of us then there's trees, shrubbery, and we are moving down slowly as Ardella is explaining some of her plants up ahead, moving into the more the perennial section where there's going to be more pollination going on.
The wind. And that's why it's here, and it's just tough.
I don't know. Vegetable.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So you're Julie's cousin?
Yes.
Where do you live? Oh, that's like, she did say that, yeah.
On the bayberry. I don't know what it is, but in the drought I lost my males.
The winter stuff.
The females survived.
Yes, we survived. We have to.
So we are at the opposite end of her garden, on the other side of her vegetable garden.
So I'm getting into other kinds of trees too. And my next project, if you come up here, I'll show you how I breed. This was put in before I got into the natives and knew anything. So I was told that where these grow, they feed monkeys. I don't have monkeys. No. I don't have monkeys. So right here you can tell why we need our trees, our natives, over a very beautiful ornamental tree. Here's the aromatic sumac. It's a low growth sumac.
That stuff grows too.
It grows like crazy. And if you have a bank, a rough bank, it's great. Look at it. I cut it back about every 2 years.
So this is the edge of her property between her and her neighbor. It's a dogwood. Very nice. And we move down the property line. All natives. She wouldn't put anything else in here. Natives to work with the birds and bees. Butterflies. More shade over in there.